This video is brought to you by ncix.com. Great technology, selection, and service.
Hello everyone, I'm Dmitry with Canucks and welcome to another video. Back in December, we reviewed this guy. This is the 600C from Corsair. It was an interesting inverted ATX layout with an awesome, elegant exterior, but many of you have expressed your interest in a smaller, non-inverted standard ATX layout. And now we have 400C, which satisfies those demands perfectly. The Corsair 400C is a fantastic addition to the Carbide series because they brought some needed updates on the interior to remain competitive. And the $99 price point I feel is well placed when you look at Corsair's entire catalog, but it's when you start to compare to the price ranges of the Define S and the Fantex P400 or the Antutu Pro M, then the 400C loses some competitive points. Now in terms of size and design, here it is next to the bigger brother 600C, and the 400C is both much smaller and thinner thanks to the omission of the 5¼ drive base and an overall smaller internal design with 7 PCI slots instead of 8 on the bigger guy. But I can definitely appreciate the consistency in design language with metal plated front panel that's fully solid and curves at the top and only has a small Corsair logo in the bottom corner. And then the large acrylic side panel that's slightly tinted and is fairly resilient to scratch marks. We have this handle to open the panel and it can be removed from the frame completely if needed. On our 600C sample, the panel came off with ease, but here the hinges are much tighter. That requires upward wiggle motion to get the hinges released. In my opinion, the acrylic is totally fine here. At this price point, we cannot expect tempered glass, but at least the nature of the side panel mount means we could potentially see different materials in the future. The front panel is well spaced out to allow unrestricted intake, and behind it we find a fine mesh dust filter spanning the entire fan area, which can support triple 120 or dual 140mm fans with a single 140mm fan included. And I ended up adding a second 120mm fan for my CPU cooler, but notice the mounting strips running down for flexible fan installation, which is awesome. The I/O includes a power button, dual USB 3, audio jacks, and hard drive activity LED, and a reset switch. The top of the case was fully covered with a magnetic filter that is coarse enough to allow proper exhaust, but it will prevent dust from settling through the top. Here we get dual 140 and 120mm mounts that are offset closer to the side panel for best internal clearance, although there isn't much height clearance here, so your best bet is to utilize the front of the case for radiators and top for fans only. The 400C is very well elevated, which makes it slightly bigger than needed, but at least the feet are rubberized and a dust filter is present under your power supply. Speaking of the power supply, Corsair is taking a modular approach towards the shroud, which is in 2 pieces, but still leaving plenty of clearance from the front panel if you want to occupy all 3 fan slots and pop in a radiator in there. Removing the first cover reveals the drive cage that is very well hidden, and you have 2 brackets. And the drive cage is also removable, and so is the last power supply cover. And you have to remove both pieces of the shroud in order to install your power supply, and Corsair makes it super simple with a few thumb screws. Taking a look at the back, we find a toolless 3-slot cage for your SSDs that is also removable, and several cable tie points around key areas, particularly around the large rubber grommets. And I decided to place a micro ATX system inside the case because this is actually a Hackintosh in disguise. So if you want to see a video on my full experience on that, let us know by leaving a comment or a like on this video. So a couple of points to mention: the rubber grommets are a little bit distant from the motherboard, although standard ATX motherboards would be slightly wider than what you see here, and thus it would be closer to the grommets and not a big issue. There are no direct cutouts underneath the micro ATX board, but that's totally fine as you have plenty of routes to direct your cables, and I really love the totally unrestricted front intake that delivers cool air to your GPU and the general interior. The cutout on the power supply shroud allows you to route PCIe cables to your GPU, but the cutout is a little further back. It's kind of in the middle of the shroud, resulting in curved cables and not a totally clean exit. Coming around though, this was no effort at all, aside from needing to do some extra work around the SSD cage and making sure that all the cables here are not sticking out. But I'm pretty happy with the overall cleanliness of the 400C, and even though I've removed the hard drive cage, you would still have plenty of room in front of the power supply for excess cables. Now there's plenty of width here to tuck away your cables, but you have to make sure that they're all flat, so the panel can close just fine, because there's no extra, space. Once you put the panel on, this is all you have to deal with. So here's the thing about 400C. It's a compact brother to the 600C, which makes sense for less demanding configurations and still allow you to populate radiator at the front. And I love this dual piece shroud design. In terms of features, it is competing with cases that are $20 and $10 cheaper, but it does offer that clean exterior and full acrylic panel and very satisfying assembly process. And because of this, we're giving it the Hardware Canucks Damn Good Award. And if you can find it on sale, it would definitely be on our recommendation list, because for a 2016 release, it offers you everything you'd want. It's not too bulky for ITX, and you can build a satisfying system around what this case offers. So as I said earlier, we are doing a Hackintosh build inside this case with the system, that exact same system. So if you want to see a video on that, wish me luck, and we'll see you in the next video.